The conventional wisdom on the shutdown has gone from there's some things coming up, the premium increases, military pay, etc., air traffic control, that would be a forcing mechanism to a deal till this thing could go on for a very long time. Here's the president today talking about Chuck Schumer, crying Chuck. I don't know if he calls him that. Talking about Chuck Schumer and it's being pressured by the left. Number 10, please.
We have a man who is a very wealthy person. You'll know that when I tell you this. Who called a donor, a great gentleman, and he said, if there's any money necessary, shortfall, for the paying of the troops, then I will pay it, meaning he will pay it. How about that? I said, look, we're not going to need it. We're going to take care of our troops. But this was a position that's being forced upon us by Democrats. And all they have to do is just sign a piece of paper saying we're going to keep it going the way it is. You know, there's nothing. It's not like it shouldn't even be an argument. They've signed it many times before. I don't want to bore you with the fact that Schumer said 100 times, you should never close up government. But Schumer's a weakened politician. I mean, he's going to finish his career as a failed politician. He's a failed politician. He's allowed the radical left to take over the Democrat Party. So if they write books about that, if they write books about him, they're going to have to say that his career ended by allowing the radical left to take over the party. I mean, I won an election in a landslide because people are not into the radical left, and the Democrat Party is.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like he and Chuck Schumer are on very good terms. It was said up until this recently that Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, Republican, Democrat Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, had a pretty good relationship, that they kind of got along. Here's the two of them talking today. You see if you think they're getting along, or maybe this is just play acting. Play 12 and 13 back to back, please.
Look, my understanding of this is they have every right to move the funds around, duly appropriated dollars from Congress to the Department of Defense. There were some R&D accounts that had not been spent, and that's my understanding is that's the money that's being used to pay the troops right now. If the Democrats want to go to court and challenge troops being paid, bring it, okay? I'm grateful for a commander-in-chief who understands the priorities of the country, the necessity of national defense, and the urgency that we all feel and have voted for 8 times. Republicans have voted in Congress 8 times now between House and Senate to fund the troops and pay federal workers in all these essential jobs and agencies, because we understand the necessity of that. Meanwhile, the Democrats voted 8 times to block their paychecks. I'm grateful we have a president who is willing to step up and do the right thing. Thank you all so much.
Engagement to try to find
You're
common
right down
ground.
the hall from Mike Johnson's office. I know exactly where you are. You could probably take a few steps and go knock on the door and talk to him. Have you tried that?
Speaker Johnson hasn't been given permission to have a conversation with me or Leader Schumer, and he said as much earlier today.
So you don't think he would talk to you at all?
We can have a conversation, but the problem is that until they get the green light to actually have a meaningful discussion to try to find common ground and a bipartisan path forward and a willingness to address the damage that Republicans have done to the health, the safety, and the economic well-being of the American people, then of course any informal discussion is going to be not fruitful.
I'm slightly inclined towards Mr. Jeffries lately because he's the only person on TV who looks tireder than me. Michael LaRosa, when and how will the shutdown end?
Well, I think we saw this morning that the DPC and OLA, the Office of Legislative Affairs, were starting to meet with House GOP leadership staffers to figure out a pathway to extend the enhanced ACA subsidies. However, it means it's not going to be, Democrats aren't going to get off scot-free. They're not going to hand Democrats a win, and the Democrats are going to have to eat a lot. And I think it's going to involve certain income requirements, eligibility requirements to keep these enhanced subsidies, enhanced COVID subsidies of the ACA extension, of these ACA things extended. But I think they do want to, I think Republicans know they have to get to a point where they can see a pathway to extending them. But Democrats are going to have to eat a lot, and including, out-of-pocket, I think, premium costs, some out-of-pocket costs, and not grandfathering in any of the new enrollees at all. Now, a lot of that's just policy wonky healthcare talk. But what it means is it sounds like Democrats will have to agree to sort of take the Republicans at their word, which they really don't have much reason to do that because of how they've used impoundment and taking up already appropriated funds to break deals. So, but that's how I think it ends. I think we're going to miss the November 1st deadline for open enrollment, but I do think that in the end, the enhanced subsidy gets saved. Nobody gets exactly what they want.
Mark, do you agree with that analysis?
I think, well, right now it's pretty interesting because we're actually in a really interesting moment in time that I think really follows kind of the arc of One Big Beautiful Bill. So the House passes a bill, and then for basically the next month, President Trump is engaged in a lot of really high profile, tight wire foreign policy stuff. So he had G7, he had NATO, he had the previously mentioned Iran strikes. And then once all that was taken care of, he came back around and was able to deal with like the domestic policy at home and be able to wield the hammer, the megaphone in ways that only he can. And we were able to get One Big Beautiful Bill done. Similarly, now he's had all this international stuff, incredible accomplishments, but his megaphone has been mostly directed in that fashion. So the fact that he's back at the table, back in Washington, I think that he has the opportunity to bring the pressure to Senate Democrats in a way that has not been previously applied since either the House vote, which they did their job, and Thune is doing his job by routinely bringing up votes, but the president has not really had the need to be inserted into the mix until right now. So I think that him being back is really big for Republicans and to find a resolution to this.
And they're doing a lot to take away a lot of pain points for Democrats, by moving money around at OMB for the troops, making certain like the air traffic controllers essential. They're taking away a lot of pressure points that Democrats needed in order to negotiate, and it's kind of funny to watch. But
and what's interesting too, and you're only starting to now see this from Republican Twitter feeds, Republican members of Congress, especially the Ag Committee. They're actually getting testimonials from individual farmers who feel that they've been hurt by the shutdown. That's the kind of content, if you want to win a shutdown, what you need is who are constituents who are being personally hurt by the issue, and that needs to come out more from Republicans.
I was surprised at how slow they were to start doing that. I thought we would have seen that every day, starting the first day. That's like basic.
I do think there'll come a point where the air traffic controllers, the unions of the ATC will start strategically picking out very, very busy airports on days that they decide to call in sick.
Now, a quick word from one of our sponsors. It's one our friends at Cozy Earth are sponsoring tonight's program. Cozy Earth bamboo sheets, viscose made from bamboo, keep you warm when you'd like to be warm and somehow magically keep you cool when you want to be cool. I used them all summer, using them now in the fall. I look forward to sleeping on them in the winter. And of course, also available to you with our discount is the Bubble Cuddle Blanket. Lose yourself in luxury. That's how my friends at Cozy Earth describe using the blanket, a combination of comfort and style with its distinctively textured bubble design, intricately woven from ultra soft fibers. All I know is it feels good. I don't know anything about the distinctively textured bubble design. I just know it feels good. I recommend that too. And as you know, I recommend the pants. Everything there is on sale now. If you use the promo code TWOWAY, you get 20% off the best pants, joggers, shorts, shirts, everything. 20% off. Go to CozyEarth.com. Use the promo code TWOWAY, because home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth. I didn't invent that slogan, but I wish I had, because I like it quite a bit. They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America. And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.